Hey friends, so I'm not much of a gardener. I always joke that I have a black thumb. My house is basically where plants go to die. However, here is one thing that I definitely know about plants. If they are dying and you catch the issue quick enough, it is possible for them to return to being healthy and growing things again. However, once they are dead, as in dead, that is pretty much the end of the line for that plant. You can water it all you want, but it's not coming back to being a healthy, growing, living thing. In case you haven't figured it out yet, this video is not actually about plants, but plants are a very appropriate metaphor for what this video is about, and that is interpersonal relationships, which are also living things. They too require watering, aka care, concern, attention, engagement, etc., in order to grow and thrive. You already know this, but in order for a plant to grow and be healthy, it needs to be cared for. You can't just leave it in a dark corner with no sunlight or water, and your cat's occasionally eating some of its leaves, and then expect to come back in, say, 2 weeks of complete neglect and find it to be thriving and that it's grown twice in its size. The same goes for relationships, even if the actions are different. I mean, I guess you could pour a watering can full of water over your friend or spouse's head, but they are probably not going to be real happy with you, to say the least. Anyway, what I'm saying here is this. You know that friend or relative or whatever your connection is to that person who continuously throws little daggers of contempt at you or low-key disrespects you, but you have been sucking it up for a long time in order to keep the peace? Or that person that you have been trying to earn the respect of over and over and they still treat you like crap anyway? Or that person who only calls you when they need something, whether it be to unload their drama on you or what have you, and they never seem to be available for you when you need to do the same? It's time to stop watering those dead plants. Those living things are no longer living. They're no longer healthy. They are dying or dead connections. And it's probably way past time to let them go. The thing with relationships that most people already know, but some do not practice, is that in order for them to last for a long time, there is a standard expectation from both parties that you kind of have to follow in order for those relationships to not completely fall off. For example, if I tell you my secrets and I ask that you not share them with other people, there is a reasonable expectation that you're not going to do that you're going to keep them to yourself and not use them as gossip fodder, bringing some spicy tea to the next time you get together with other friends where I am not present. For some reason, that is a tough one for people to really get. And I'll be honest, I don't truly understand why. If you share something with me in confidence and you ask me not to tell anyone, I won't. Certainly not during the time where we are friendly or whatever we are to each other, but I will continue to do that even if and when we have a falling out and aren't friends anymore. That's just how my loyalty is built, I guess. And, you know, I hold pretty firmly to that. There are people out there who have done me dirty. And if I were a certain kind of person, I could make a phone call or text someone with some receipts, as the kids say these days, and that would make their lives real hard. In one particular case, I know for sure it would change that person's life significantly. But I won't do that because they shared those things with me in a time where we had that unspoken contract of friendship. And even if I don't feel the same way about them now, I still won't violate that. The only time I have ever wavered on it is when they have spilled my beans, and I had to pretty much spill theirs to defend myself. And even then, I only shared selected beans. So if you tell me something that you don't want shared, even if I hate you now, that secret is going with me to the grave. Anyway, that is a big part of that standard expectation. That's a really, really large part of that trust piece that I just mentioned. You expect people who you consider to be your friends or other close relations to not betray you. You also expect them not to disrespect you or try to sabotage aspects of your life, or use you, or take advantage of you, or be two-faced and backstabbing, or a litany of other things, all which are very, very reasonable expectations to have. And then you have some others which are not always quite as clear or natural to some people, like being honest with you, speaking up for you, and defending you in rooms that you are not in, not stringing you along and pretending to care about you until they get what they want and then showing you the door, not abusing the trust you put in them, being there for them when you need them, even if all they can do is listen. These, too, are reasonable expectations, but they are not always clear to people who lack self-awareness, or people who are just selfish and are always working that angle of what could be in it for them in every single little thing they do. And yes, people like this exist, especially in adulthood. And yes, they were probably like that as young adults or even kids too, but we get so much better at really, really seeing people for who they truly are as we get older. And in that process, there are unfortunately some times where we have someone in our circle, whether it be in close orbit or slightly further, that we have known for a long time, but really aren't our people. Because we've known them for a long time, or what have you, we have just been chalking up the things that they do, which are not nice or hurtful, to just how this person is. And while that might be true, it doesn't really make it okay. Look, friends, some real talk here. When we find ourselves excusing someone else's terrible behavior by saying, that's just how they are, then I hate to say this, but we are a part of the problem. Because what we allow, friends, is what will continue. So by allowing that behavior to slide, we are sending an implied message that it's okay to do it, even if it isn't. If people think that the way they behave is okay, then they have no reason to change it, and most won't. In fact, chances are high that they will not only keep doing it, but they'll try other terrible things too, just to see if they can get away with that too. That is just how people are, and that seems to be especially true these days. It's become way too convenient for folks to do whatever they want or say whatever they want and just chalk it up to, that's just how I am. And of course, then they think that everyone else must accept that no matter what. They expect you to, because that's how they are built, and it's not their fault, because nothing is. It's their personality. That's fixed and impossible to change, right? No. No to the 10th effing power. That's just how I am is not an excuse, friends. It's a cop-out from doing better. Your personality is actually not fixed. You can most certainly change how you are, just like you can change and evolve your views on issues or your personal preferences. And as we have definitely talked about before on this channel, how you behave regardless is always up to you. You are in control of that. You are also in control of how you treat others. So with that said, if you're being a douche canoe to someone for whatever reasons you're doing that, that isn't just how you are. That is how you are choosing to act. No longer watering dead plants does not only apply to relationships with other people, by the way. It can certainly also apply to things that you're doing that are not giving you the results that you want. Or even worse, that are sucking the joy right out of your life. as if they were drinking up every single drop of that water you keep giving it and leaving zero for the things that you actually want to do, or leaving any of that water for you, period, for that matter. So, how do you do this? How do you know when you should stop watering? Well, while every situation is obviously going to be different, I think it is helpful to look at your life as you would a garden. What is arguably the most important thing in any garden is what? The soil. Without that, well, you don't have much of a garden, do you? And if you have toxic soil and that garden somewhere, it's going to kill anything you try to plant there. That toxic soil might be having unhealthy boundaries or being emotionally stunted or closed off. Sometimes those things are also major contributors to why anything new you plant, so to speak, doesn't grow. So work to remove that soil. Heal from unhealthy things so that you can make space for healthy soil, aka healthy things and relationships to be planted. So that is step one. And then look around at your plants. Think of each one as a relationship you have with another person. You may have some big healthy ones that are growing beautifully and they are rooted in joy and love and authenticity and kindness and respect. Those are the ones you need to keep tending to and keep watering so that they stay healthy and continue to give you those good things. But wait, what's that over there? A plant that is dying or already dead, and it's one that's rooted in authenticity or jealousy or fakeness or contempt? It's a plant whose leaves are metaphorically dragging you down and making you feel bad about yourself. Maybe that plant got in your garden in the first place for shallow reasons. Maybe it's just one of those random things you picked up somewhere that you've outgrown now, but you leave it there because it's not hurting anything, right? Well, actually, when something is dying in a garden, it can most definitely kill other healthy things around it. You don't want that. So, ding ding. Those are, in fact, the plants you need to stop watering. In fact, yank them out altogether, like you would a weed. This will let only healthy things grow in your garden. And isn't that what you want? Of course it is. So, look, friends, while it is true that sometimes you can bring a plant back to life when it's dying, it is going to take a lot of work and a lot of care. And when you are the only one who's going to be doing it, because, of course, you would be, the plant is not exactly helping you, then you have some choices to make. An excellent way of doing that is to change out the word plant and put in a relationship in its place. And then ask yourself the following question. Is this relationship really where I want to keep focusing my time and energy? Do I want to continue tolerating this kind of behavior in that relationship? Do I want to keep showing up for this person when they are not even trying to show up for me? Do I want to continue to just suck it up when they continuously treat me poorly or disrespect me or treat me like I should be lucky to be around them? Do I feel wanted and celebrated in this relationship, or do I simply feel tolerated and like I need to be less than who I am in order to keep it? The answer should probably be no to all of those things, because you shouldn't compromise your self-worth or self-respect simply to keep any relationship of any kind, period. I know. It can, in fact, be very easy to stay in the habit of giving our energy away to certain people or things because, well, we've known them for a long time, or we've invested a lot of time in trying to make that better or to grow or whatever the reason is. But sometimes it really is time. Time to walk away from things and people that don't make us feel good about ourselves, that make us compromise who we are or our self-respect, that we know are not truly for us. This giving away of that energy is, in fact, as I said, a habit. And the good thing about habits is that they can be broken. Sometimes it will need to be one step at a time. Other times, giant leaps. But with this, friends, it is very much like anything else positive that we want to do in our lives. Direction is always more important than speed, as long as you keep going. Before you know it, you will realize you were watering way too many dead plants. And when you stop, it's amazing how much water, aka mental energy, you will have left for the things and the people that are healthy plants. That's all I've got for you this week. I will be back next week with another priority message. Until then, take good care of yourselves. Bye.